You're looking at photographs of houses made mostly in the eastern seaboard of the United States. They're houses that are in close proximity to commercial districts, and photographed them so that reflections of commercial signage reflects into the windows of the houses themselves. There are only certain places in the country where these kind of pictures can be found. Part of it is that the zoning of neighborhoods has changed so that they keep the commercial and the residential fairly separate, or they try to. And these are slightly older houses from a time when the commercial culture wouldn't have represented such an intrusive force into the lives of the people in these houses, when it would have been a neighborhood shop down the street, and then over time it's evolved into a glowing neon entity that's almost literally penetrating their living space. I think about them very ambiguously. I think about them as a critic of the role of corporate capital in our lives, because literally the houses are not only reflecting these signs, but they're also bathed in this kind of creepy light that comes from the glowing signs. But in reality, the reflections themselves, I think, are the most beautiful things I've ever photographed, and to me appear almost like the illuminated capitals of medieval manuscripts within the confines of the picture. There's something beautiful and horrible about them, and I think that any work of art can be judged by how critical it is of the culture it comes from and how celebratory it is of the culture it comes from. And I think that all of my work, and certainly in this body of work, it's something that I'm very keen on expressing both sides of. So there's something beautiful to look at. That's a celebration. And there's something enormously awful about the way these generic corporate icons slather our lives. I think as a photographer, and I'm unabashedly and unashamedly a photographer, I've always felt like my mission is to look at everything the wrong way around. Look at everything exactly how you're not supposed to look at it. One of the things about these pictures that's very interesting for me as a photographer is that they could only be seen from one very particular vantage point. If you moved your head an inch to the left or an inch to the right, you didn't see this thing. And so my decisions as a photographer were sort of constricted in this interesting way, in a way that I think creates some kind of friction in the picture. So in all different bodies of my work, I'm dealing often with the way light is something that doesn't just exist in the world to make it beautiful or ugly, but it has a kind of content. It means something, and it's put there by somebody to mean something. And so I'm trying to then use that light against its own creator, use it the wrong way around. And normally, as a photographer, all I have to do is position myself in the place to see it the wrong way around.